Today, we'll be talking about Morbius. So, Morbius is the newest Marvel movie. Actually, Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness is, but it is the it is technically connected to the MCU because Vulture appeared at the very end of the movie. Yep, Vulture appeared at the very end of the movie, so that means this movie is connected to the MCU, even though it's made by Sony. So, this movie basically was in development hell for a couple years. And is Morbius a good or is it a city movie? Well, of course, we all know more. So, we'll be telling you the truth. Or at least my opinion. So, Morbius is basically your typical superhero movie. Basically, it's very similar to like any other superhero movie. But Morbius isn't really a actual hero until like the very, very end. You know, basically, before, cause I'll basically explain the plot right of this movie. So, basically, Morbius, he's terminally ill, and he basically wants to find a cure. So he said, you know what, I'm gonna take vampire bat blood and put it in myself. And he turns into a vampire. Ooh, he turns into a vampire. And basically, he turns into a vampire, and his friend also wants the blood. So basically, Morbius said, no, you don't want to be me. Okay, it's not a good idea. But his friend said, oh, I'm dying. But then they find Morbius, and they arrest him. And basically, his friend, becomes his warrior, Milo. And he basically said, okay, I'm going to take your blood. And now I'm you. And Milo becomes evil. Okay, because he wants to have power, basically. And Milo basically starts killing people because he likes the fact that he's basically no longer weak and he's pretty strong now. He's no longer on the verge of death every second. So basically, Morbius realizes that, oh, I have to stop this guy. Okay, he's my mistake because I created this thing and I have to beat him. And then they fight. Morbius summons a bunch of bats and beats Milo. That's basically his girlfriend that he falls in love with, basically, or also becomes a vampire. And at the end of the movie, Vulture appears in the movie. That's basically the whole plot of the movie. So, yep. And Morbius is a pretty alright movie. It's not really the greatest movie, but it's not really a horrendous movie. It's on DVD, Blu-ray, and streaming services now. So if you really want to watch this movie, you could really just watch it at home. They also re-released this movie and defeat us because of all the memes. Okay? But of course, the memes, they only made like 230,000. It basically made Arita numbers in terms of re-releases. Actually, did better than Arita's re-release as well. So, overall, Morbius is an okay movie. It's not really a horrible movie. It's not really an amazing movie. It's basically, it goes through its motions, it goes through its plot, but overall, it's an okay movie. And it is gonna be, and it might even get a sequel. Yeah, it might even get a sequel. Yeah. And also, Morbius did not say it's Morbin time. Yeah. Unless I didn't notice it, then I must be, crucified for, put at the stake for not noticing it's Morbin time. But I recall he didn't say it's Morbin time throughout the movie. But I hope the second movie is just him saying it's Morbin time for 2 hours. That would be the greatest movie ever made. So, overall, this is the unironic version of Morbius. This is the unironic review. So, I think this movie is gonna be like Snakes on a Plane and other movies. Well, of course, the critics say it, but this movie, like similar other, movies like The Room, Snakes on a Plane, and a couple other movies that were really, really poorly received, it will probably gain a cult following over time. There are already a lot of people who actually said they actually liked the movie and not out of irony as well. So I wonder how the Morbius will fare in the future. And will Morbius 2 even exist? And also, apparently, The Boys pokes fun at Morbius as well. Again, The Boys is on Amazon. So yeah, goodbye.